Not only does speech retrieve pre-existing ideas, it also creates new information in the retrieval process, just as in the process of writing. Speaking out loud is inventive and creative. Each uttered word and sentence doesn't just bring forth an existing thought, but also triggers new mental and linguistic connections. In both cases, speech and writing, the materiality of language undergoes a transformation to audible sounds or written signs, which in turn produces a mental shift. This transformation isn't just about the translation of thoughts into another set of signs. Rather, it adds new information to the mental process and generates new mental cascades. That's why the best solution for creative blocks isn't to try to think in front of an empty page and simply wait for thoughts to arrive, but actually to continue to speak and write anything, trusting in this generative process. Speaking out loud to yourself also increases the dialogical quality of our own speech. Although we have no visible addressee, speaking to ourselves encourages us to actively construct the image of an addressee and activate one's theory of mind, the ability to understand other people's mental states, and to speak and act according to their imagined expectations. Mute inner speech can appear as an inner dialogue as well, but its truncated form encourages us to create a secret, abbreviated language and deploy mental shortcuts. By forcing us to articulate ourselves more fully, self-talk summons up the image of an imagined listener or interrogator more vividly. In this way, it allows us to question ourselves more critically by adopting an external perspective on our ideas, and so to consider shortcomings in our arguments, all while using our own speech. You might have noticed, too, that self-talk is often intuitively performed while the person is moving or walking around. If you've ever paced back and forth in your room while trying to talk something out, you've used this technique intuitively. It's no coincidence that we walk when we need to think. Evidence shows that movement enhances thinking and learning, and both are activated in the same center of motor control in the brain. In the influential subfield of cognitive science concerned with embodied cognition, one prominent claim is that actions themselves are constitutive of cognitive processes. That is, activities such as playing a musical instrument, writing, speaking, or dancing don't start in the brain and then emanate out of the body as actions. Rather, they entail the mind and body working in concert as a creative, integrated whole, unfolding and influencing each other in turn. It's therefore a significant problem that many of us are trapped in work and study environments that don't allow us to activate these intuitive cognitive muscles, and indeed often encourage us to avoid them. Technological developments that make speaking seemingly redundant are also an obstacle to embracing our full cognitive potential. Recently, the technology entrepreneur Elon Musk declared that we are marching towards a near future without language, in which we'll be able to communicate directly, mind to mind, through neural links. Our brains spend a lot of effort compressing a complex concept into words, he said in a recent interview, and there's a lot of lost information that occurs when compressing a complex concept into words. However, what Musk chalks up to effort, friction, and information loss also involves cognitive gain. Speech is not merely a conduit for the transmission of ideas, a replaceable medium for direct communication, but a generative activity that enhances thinking. Neural links might ease intersubjective communication, but they won't replace the technology of thinking while speaking. Just as Kleist realized more than 200 years ago, there are no pre-existing ideas, but rather the heuristic process by which speech and thought co-construct each other. So, the next time you see someone strolling and speaking to herself in your street, wait before judging her. She might just be in the middle of some intensive work. She might be wishing she could say, "I'm sorry, I can't chat right now. I'm busy talking to myself." And maybe, just maybe, you might find yourself doing the same one day.